Did you know there's a jellyfish that can live forever? That's right. It's called the Turritopsis dohrnii, or the immortal jellyfish. You see, when it gets injured or old, it essentially hits a reset button on life, reverting back to its baby state. Can you imagine living forever? I mean, it just keeps starting over.
Wait, hold on. Does that mean it just keeps getting younger? You know? It sounds kind of like the plot of a sci-fi movie, right? Like, if we could do that, people would be fighting over who gets to live forever.
Exactly. It does sound like a sci-fi movie, but it's very real. And, it makes you think about how we perceive life and aging. Like, how many times do we wish we could rewind our mistakes? The jellyfish has literally mastered that concept.
Oh, wow. So, you're saying that if I mess up my finances, I can just go back to being a baby and start over? That'd be so handy. But then, do you think we'd really value life if we could just reset it?
That's a fascinating question. I think if we could reset, we might take life less seriously. But then, looking at jellyfish, their lives are completely different from ours. They probably don't have the same perception of life. It's just survival for them. Speaking of survival, did you know that Earth has mini-moons?
Mini-moons? Like, are they actual moons that are just super tiny? Haha, like moonlets? What's the deal with that?
Right? Exactly. Sometimes tiny asteroids orbit the Earth, acting like little mini-moons that drift away after a few months or years. It's like having a pet rock that eventually bounces out of your yard.
I love that analogy. So they just come and go? Do they have names? Like, Kevin or something?
Haha, I wish they did. But no, they're not formally named since they're temporary. But it's mind-blowing to think we've got these little celestial visitors.
Speaking of mind-blowing, I've always been confused about fruits. Like, did you know bananas are actually berries, but strawberries aren't? That's so weird.
Yeah, and here's the kicker. Botanically, a berry must come from a flower with a single ovary, which bananas fit into perfectly. Strawberries, on the other hand, come from multiple ovaries, so technically they're not berries.
Wow. So like, if I made a fruit salad and added bananas but not strawberries, it would be a legitimate berry salad? That's kind of wild.
Absolutely. Here's a funny thought. If you were at a dinner party and you called a strawberry a berry, think of how many eyebrows you might raise. It's one of those strange facts that makes the world feel a little more peculiar.
Haha, right. I can just picture it now. And, speaking of strange, did you know your brain can actually produce enough electricity to power a light bulb?
Yes! When we're awake, our brains can generate about 20 watts of electricity. It's a perfect metaphor for the power of thought, if you think about it. Just imagine how much energy is swirling around in our heads.
Whoa! So my brain could possibly light up a room? Wow, that's kind of great. But then, do you think some people are just, like, using their brain power differently? I mean, how can I channel that potential?
That's an intriguing thought. It's about how we harness that brain power, focus it on creative pursuits, or problem solving. Some might light up a whole house with their ideas, while others just keep it dim.
I definitely want to be the whole house type of person. But what about UFOs? I heard once that even President Jimmy Carter reported seeing a UFO back in 1969.
That's right. And he didn't claim aliens were involved, but it's still fascinating. Just think, what if we're not alone in this universe? It really stretches our imaginations.
Ooh, now I'm picturing aliens having coffee breaks. Maybe they're just like us, haha. So, is there any evidence or sighting reports that we should really dive into?
There are countless reports and investigations, and some have been taken very seriously. It's an endless rabbit hole of curiosity. And speaking of curiosity, did you know there are more fake flamingos than real ones out there?
That's, surprising. Do people really prefer plastic over real flamingos? Is that a thing?
Apparently. It's a funny fact, but it tells us about consumer culture. We're drawn to quirky decorations, even if they're entirely artificial.
Haha, so people are planting fake flamingos in their yards, telling their neighbors, look at my exotic decor, instead of, going to a zoo or something.
Exactly. And get this, octopuses have 3 hearts. They actually have 1 heart that pumps blood to the body and 2 that send it to the gills. When they swim, 1 heart stops beating, which is why they prefer to crawl around.
Whoa, that's so fascinating. It's like they have to make a choice, hey, do I want to swim or crawl today? Haha, does that mean they're, super slow swimmers?
Pretty much. Imagine only having 1 heart in the game when everyone else has all their gears running at full speed. It's why they tend to be more cautious when exploring the ocean.
I wonder if they have their own little underwater ecosystems or communities, like octopus neighborhoods. That'd be so cool.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of unique communities, there's a town in Canada that receives all the letters to Santa. Volunteers respond to over 1.5 million letters each year.
Wow. So those letters, they're not just tossed aside? How do people keep up with that? Do they have, an elf army on standby?
Pretty much. It's a labor of love from the community. They take joy in answering those letters and bringing smiles to children's faces.
That's beautiful! Haha! And speaking of beautiful, I read somewhere that a robot named Sophia was granted citizenship in Saudi Arabia. Seriously, does she get to vote?
Well, not quite. Sophia has the power of speech and emotion, but granting her citizenship raised eyebrows on what rights robots should have in the future. It's a touchy subject, isn't it?
Definitely. Are we heading into a weird sci-fi future where robots are, our equals? I mean, I always thought they just served us,
It does raise interesting ethical questions about AI and humanity. And finally, here's a mind bender. Your memories aren't quite reliable. Each time you recall something, your brain slightly alters it.
Wow, so I could be remembering my childhood all wrong? That's nuts. Like, what if I think the sky is green instead of blue because of a memory mix-up?
Exactly. We become the storytellers of our lives, but those stories might not always align with the truth. It's like playing a game of telephone with our memories.
Crazy! So, like, is reality stranger than fiction then? That might just be the wildest fact of all.
Absolutely. In the end, these facts are just a glimpse into the incredible curiosities of our world. What fact surprised you the most?
Oh man, all of them. But the jellyfish living forever? That's a real game changer. Thanks for sharing. Let's spread that curiosity.
Welcome back to the podcast where we unlock ideas that make your life better, one episode at a time. Have you ever looked at someone super successful and thought, what do they do that I don't? Well, while luck and talent definitely play a role, success often comes down to simple habits. Think about it. CEOs, athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs, they not only dream big, but also make it happen. So let's dive into 5 habits that these successful individuals have in common. Grab a notebook, open your mind, and let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm so ready for this. I mean, waking up early sounds like a superpower. Like, how do they do it?
Habit number 1. They wake up early and with intention. Most highly successful people wake up early, but it isn't just for the sake of waking up early, right? They use that quiet time with intention. Without distractions, they plan, they read, they reflect, and they move their bodies. Think of it like this. If you own your morning, you set the tone for your day. It's like having a blank canvas for your masterpiece of a day ahead.
Wow, a blank canvas. So, if I woke up early, like 30 minutes earlier or something, what would I even do? I mean, like, is there a secret formula for the perfect morning routine, or is it just, like, whatever works for you?
Great question. It's definitely a mix. You can experiment with what ignites your spirit each morning. Perhaps you meditate, or, like me, you might enjoy a hot cup of coffee while journaling. The key here is to make those first moments count. It's a game changer to find your focus before the chaos begins.
I love that. Like, it reminds me of that time I tried a morning workout class and felt like a superhero for the rest of the day. But, what's next? What are these other habits?
Habit number 2. They set clear, daily goals. Successful people actually create the day they want. They set intentions like, what's one thing I need to accomplish today that moves me forward? Instead of those long, daunting to-do lists, they focus on high-impact tasks that genuinely matter. Every single morning, take a moment to write down your top 3 goals for the day.
Ooh, 3 goals. That seems doable. So, what if I have like a million things I want to do? It sounds kind of hard not to just list everything out, you know?
I get that. Often, focusing on a few priorities is way more effective. Imagine you're packing for a trip. You want to pick the essentials first. That's how you should look at your day. Pick the essentials that will drive you towards your ultimate goals.
Ah, right. Like packing light for a trip less is more. Got it. Okay, but what's up with the third habit?
Habit number 3. They protect their mindset. Success is as much about thinking right as it is about working hard. Successful folks take time daily to work on their mindset. They read uplifting books, listen to motivational podcasts, journal, meditate, and dodge toxic news and people like they're dodgeball champions. Treat your mindset like a muscle. Train it daily.
Oh, whoa. It's like you can't just lift weights once and expect to be ripped. So, do they really avoid news? That sounds extreme. I feel like, what if there's like a zombie apocalypse or something?
Haha. Well, maybe watch just enough to stay informed without getting overwhelmed. You want to fill your mind with positivity and growth. Think of it as gardening. Pull the weeds to let the flowers bloom.
A garden, huh? This is becoming a whole life metaphor session. Okay, what's the fourth habit? Am I going to be gardening my brain now?
Laughs. Exactly. Habit number 4. They are lifelong learners. A key difference between winners and others is that successful individuals never stop learning. They read every day, take courses, watch documentaries. All that jazz. Learning fosters growth. It's like, in nature, you see a tree grow by constantly reaching for sunlight.
Crazy! It's like, I know I should learn more, but sometimes it feels dull, you know? What's your trick to make it fun?
Well, consider this. Make it a game. Find topics that ignite your curiosity or engage with others who share the same interests. Swap book recommendations or start a mini book club with friends. Learning should be like an adventure, not a chore.
Ooh, a book club sounds cool. I could totally see that turning into, like, a movie night or something too. So what's the last habit?
Habit number 5. They build powerful relationships. No one succeeds alone. Successful people cultivate a network that inspires and supports them. They surround themselves with positive, driven individuals and invest in meaningful relationships. Remember, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Whoa. So I gotta upgrade my circle? What if I'm like in a friend group where everyone's just binge watching TV shows all day?
Laughs. Sometimes you need to seek out new influences. It doesn't mean your other friendships have to falter. They just need to be complemented by those who challenge and uplift you. Picture it like being an astronaut. You need a solid crew for a successful mission.
Wow, I love that. So it's like I'm curating my own support system. These habits seem so simple but powerful. How do you suggest I get started?
Absolutely. Start small. Maybe begin with waking up just a little earlier. Set one clear daily goal and find one positive person to connect with. Remember, it's consistency, not perfection, that breeds success.
I'm so pumped to try this out. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in. If you found value here, share it with a friend who's ready to level up. Remember, success isn't magic, it's momentum. Until next time, stay focused, intentional, and keep growing. everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Have you ever thought about just throwing in the towel? You know, when life keeps throwing curveballs at you, and it feels like everything is just against you? Well, today I've got something super special to share. 3 incredible stories of resilience that will downright inspire you to believe in the impossible. Trust me, these stories can transform your perspective on life.
Wow. That sounds exciting. So, like, are we diving into some really wild, epic tales? Laughs. I mean, I love inspirational stuff.
Absolutely. You see, it's fascinating how powerful a story can be. Stories have this unique ability to mirror our reality and spark change. Let's dive into the first one. Meet João. This guy lived on the streets for nearly a decade. Can you imagine that? Almost 10 years?
Whoa, wait a minute. So he was just living on the streets and then bam, a book? What was it about that book that changed everything for him? I mean, it sounds like a movie or something.
Exactly. It's like something straight out of a feel-good film. So João became enamored with stories. He started frequenting the library. It wasn't just a little hobby for him. It became his escape, his lifeline. Fast forward to today, he's now a literature teacher. He once said, "It was reading that saved my life." How profound is that?
Wow, so he turned his whole life around with reading? That's nuts. What if that lady never handed him that book? That's insane to think about.
Right? It's like throwing a stone into a calm lake. The ripples can lead to unexpected places. Now let's talk about Aline. At just 17, she was pregnant and alone, armed with only 50 Brazilian reals in her pocket. Can you visualize how tough that must have been?
Oh my gosh, I'm picturing her at a park or something, selling cakes to people. Did she have this entrepreneurial spirit, or what?
Spot on. She didn't have it easy, but her grit paid off. Her cake business exploded, and now she runs a full-blown bakery, employing 4 women. Aline is out there inspiring other single mothers too. It's incredible how one person's courage can create a ripple effect, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's like a superhero origin story. Laughs. Each step she took just radiated hope. But, can you imagine the kinds of challenges she faced? Did she have to learn everything from scratch?
Great point. She definitely faced hurdles, but she embraced every challenge along the way. And this leads us to Rafael. This story will just blow your mind. He had a motorcycle accident at 22 and became paraplegic. Talk about a life-altering moment.
Oh man, I can't even begin to think about how that would feel. Like one moment you're riding free, and the next, everything changes. How did he cope with that?
Well, after months of battling despair, Rafael chose to channel his energy into something creative. He learned to paint with his mouth. Yep, mouth painting. And get this, his artwork has been showcased internationally. He said, "I lost my legs, but I found my purpose."
Whoa, that's incredible. I mean, painting with your mouth? Laughs. That's so intense. It's just mind-boggling how people can reshape their lives, isn't it?
Absolutely. These stories collectively remind us that even in our darkest hours, there is always a glimmer of light. If you're facing tough times, Just hold on to these narratives and realize they're not just stories, they're proof that you're continually writing your own.
That's such a beautiful thought. Like, we all have the power to write our own story, even when it feels impossible. If this episode struck a chord with you, don't hesitate to share it with someone who needs a little light in their life.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes a single story can alter someone's trajectory. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Until next time, stay inspired, and remember, you're always the author of your own journey.
Thank you for sharing these amazing stories. They really echo the message that there's always hope, right? I can't wait to tell everyone about this.